Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 4, Episode 16, Ham Radio News and Updates for 2026. Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. I know Cooley's here. Welcome, Cooley. Apologize for last week. We've been having crazy work weeks, and it was just an absolute insane, crazy, off-the-wall day, and I just did not have time. What I normally do is I take time during my lunch break to go ahead and get the show set up. No time even to do that. It was wall to wall that day. It was wall to wall, and it ended up being after work 3 beers tall. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was pretty packed that day, and I just did not have time to do that. So my apologies to all you guys for that. So want to thank you guys for stopping by today. I am getting just some tremendous response from, and I'll also I need to make mention of the fact too, we're just not on Ham Radio Basics on YouTube. We're on Bill of Technology Reviewer, and we're also out on Ham Radio Basics out on X on Twitter as well too. If you want to join us, the YouTube link is pinned in the comments, so you're welcome to join the chat. We would love to have you here. Oh, cool. Very cool, Cooley. That's all. Hey, you know, nothing beats getting time out and spending time with family. That's absolutely fantastic. Well, not this weekend, but the weekend before, went down to Jensen Beach, Florida, which is, it's north of Fort Lauderdale. It's in the Jupiter Beach area, and had a drone meetup. And I go there. It's once a year, and it's not like a ham fest, but it's a lot. We had well over 100, probably I'm going to say about 125 of us who follow each other on YouTube and things like that. Had a wonderful time there. Got to meet a lot of people that I chat with online all the time, and just had a lot of fun. And it was great seeing everybody. I mean, I only get to see these people once a year, so it was great. We're going to stay longer next year because I'd like to spend some time and go out and fly with them. So, and I always try to push ham radio with my fellow peeps out there too. So, so that's where we were. Want to let you know, I'm getting such a great response on my top 10 list. We're going to keep doing them because it's just been going real well. Hey, Waypoint, New England, we missed you at the meetup, my friend. It would have been wonderful to see you there. Had such a great time. I can't tell you. I know you had some conflicts and weren't able to go, but it was a lot of fun. And I would love, if I had the money, I would go up, and the time to take off, I would go up to the Rhode Island meetup, because I know I'd probably be able to meet you up there. But man, it was just such a good time. That's all I can tell you. And if you can try next year, get down here, it'd be absolutely fantastic. So what I was saying was, my top 10 videos have been getting such a positive response. We're going to continue doing them, because it's like people like to see these, and you know, and all these different flavors of top 10 things or top 5 things that I'm doing. And of course, I'm enlisting AI, ChatGPT, to help us out. So, yeah, they did. We really, really did. It was, you know, and the best part about that is, and it's like when you go to a ham fest, the best part is seeing other hams that you know. And it's the same thing with this. The best part is seeing other drone people that you know and spending time talking to them. Everybody like, oh, what drone you bringing to fly? I'm like, yeah, I'm bringing one, but no, I'm not going to fly that day. I'm there to talk to people. And we got smart this year. We ended up sitting down in one spot pretty much for the day. Had a lot of people come up to us. I mean, that was smart. That was smart on our part. And my wife really had a great time as well too. She really enjoyed it. So it was a really good time. Anyway, top 10 list. Today we're going to look at the top 10 HTs for emergency use. I thought this would be really good. You know, it's a different flavor than just, you know, as far as cost is concerned. This one did not take cost into consideration, as you'll see. Okay, there's a real pricey one in here too. But it's meant for different uses, different situations, and we're going to go over that here just to kind of explain things. I also got smart too. I'm not doing PowerPoint presentations anymore, because what happens is when I stick PowerPoint inside of StreamYard, it just fouls the whole thing up. It gets to be a real mess. So I just went ahead and created a slide deck out on Canva, and I think that's going to work just fine here. So Go ahead here. All right. There we go. Top 10 HTs for emergency use. If you're picking a handheld specific for emergency use, you want to prioritize a few things over everything else. Ruggedness and reliability, military standard IP rating, battery life and easy charging options, simple operations under stress, strong RF performance receiver plus audio, access to multiple modes, analog plus digital plus APRS. Ham radio absolutely does play a role in disasters when infrastructure is down, but the radios that work best are the ones that are simple, durable, and proven, not just feature packed. And that is true. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first one here. And this one should come as absolutely no surprise. Yaesu FT-60R. It's simple to program. It's rugged. It's reliable. The audio is great on it. The menu is so stinking simple. It's not funny. It's a perfect tool to have in your bag for emergency situations to have stand on by. So what I suggest is get one, leave it on a charger, get a backup battery, leave it on a charger. You know those battery packs that Yaesu sell? I know they're not the best in the world, but you know what? Get them, put some AA batteries in there, have some fresh ones standing by. Also have some solar charging options as well, too. And that's a whole nother ball game as far as that's concerned. And it is. The FT-60R has been around for 20 years. I mean, my gosh, and Yaesu has no plans to pull this radio at all. It's very solid. It's reliable. They're going to keep making it. My suggestion is, if you can afford it, get at least two of them. They're so good. KR4 JGD. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. Andy, welcome. Good to see you too, my friend. Thanks for stopping by today, guys. Appreciate that. But yeah, this is number one. It's the FT-60R. It really is. It's really just an absolutely fantastic radio here. Okay, let's take a look at number two here. And this is the Icom IC-V86. Now, they call it the best tank radio, and it's 7 watts output. So it's more than just your standard HT. It has that military standard rugged build, and it's been proven in real disaster deployments. It's actually been used out there. And and it's not super expensive. It's something that's in the affordable range. So this is something I would recommend to have in your tool bag. Again, these are options to use in case of an emergency, and you want something that's going to be rugged. More than likely, down here, you're going to have hurricanes. You're going to be wet. There's going to be wind. There's going to be rain. And inclement weather to deal with. So you want to have things that will hold up to that. So again, this is a great option, especially, it's a very rugged, dependable type radio here. And it's something I would definitely recommend. Now let's go ahead and go on to number three here. And it's the FT-65R. I want to call it the 60R's big brother or whatever, but it's very reliable. It's easy to program, and it's fantastic for a go bag. I mean, again, it's really a lot like the 60R. It's simple to program. It's been around a while. It's very dependable. It doesn't chew up a lot of battery. And again, with all, and I say this with a caveat, with all of these, get backup batteries for this. Okay, whether they're snap-in packs or whatever, make sure that you do that, and make sure you also have alternate ways of being able to charge it other than via electricity. So just kind of an FYI there. But no, this is a great radio. It's priced right. It's something I would pair up. What I would do is I would get a 60R and a 65R for sure. Okay. Talking expensive. Okay. Yeah. We're at the expensive part right here. Chris, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, KR4 JGD. It only got in the mid 70s here today. It's like 80. It just barely hit 80 today. So yeah, Chris, welcome. Thanks for stopping by today. But no, the Kenwood THD75A, best advanced emergency comms, and it has APRS plus GPS plus digital modes. It's an all-in-one kind of tool. It's huge. Having APRS, it's huge for emergency tracking and messaging. If there is infrastructure, of course. And of course, it is pricey. Where depending on where you get it, I mean, it's not. This isn't one of these ones you pick up over the weekend on Amazon. I mean, you probably could. I think there's probably some sellers out there, but it's going to cost you some coin, okay? And it's going to be worth it. It's a very dependable radio. It really, I mean, having APRS and GPS and digital modes all in one radio is fantastic, and it's something I would definitely recommend if you can. Obviously, if you can afford something like this, there it's not cheap, but it's well made and it's very reliable. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorites. Okay, it's the FT-5DR, and it's my everyday carry, and I absolutely love this radio. It's digital and it has analog flexibility. The touchscreen is wonderful on there, and it does have GPS in there. And the battery ecosystem is really good on it. I really like it. And to me, it's easy to use. I mean, it goes contrary to some of the more upscale Yaesu offerings that they have that are not so easy to use. And it's menu driven, but it's very easy menus to follow in here. I've really had no problem getting used to it, programming it was a snap, and it works like a champ, time in and time out. And of course, it kind of goes without saying with all of these, you want to pair them with the right antennas. Okay. It just really, really, really. Oh, okay. Okay. They make some pretty good radios. They really do. KR4, they really do. But no, I love the 5DR. It's fantastic. I know a lot of people have got a 5DR, and they also have kept their 3DR as well too. And the 5DR it does have quite a bit of improvements over the 3DR, especially I think in terms of volume. The 3DR's volume had some issues with it, but this one has been rock solid. Yaesu's done a great job with that, and having that touchscreen is absolutely fantastic on that. Okay, the AnyTone AT-D168 UV2 Plus, best DMR to do it all. Okay, it's analog plus DMR plus APRS. It really has an incredible feature set to this, and it's great for integrating into wider networks. I mean, this is the point. If there's issues with infrastructure, or you're in a real natural disaster, say like a major hurricane, tornado, flood, that kind of thing, and communications interrupted, this is the kind of radio to have and to know how to use it. And it's one of these things. It does have a learning curve, and that's one of the things that I like to tell people is, yeah, Dr. Ted, welcome. Hey, yeah, are you talking about the FT-5DR, Dr. Ted? Because I really like it, or the AnyTone. Let me know. But no, it just the AnyTone is a great radio, but you gotta take the time to learn it and to learn it properly. I haven't done that, but they have some great courses out there that will teach you how to use this radio. It's something I would recommend if you want to get into DMR. It really does a great job. It really has a lot of features and a lot of capabilities, and I really, really like it. Really like it. So I don't have it. It's something that's on my list to get, and I think it would make a good tool for my ham shack. So that's something I think you guys should probably consider in terms of a radio for like emergency communication purposes. All right. The Icom IC-T10. Okay, best simple modern Icom, and it really is. This is kind of like the FT-60 that Yaesu has. Very straightforward. The audio is great on it. It's fairly straightforward to program. Excellent RF performance it does. And again, the whole thing, and I keep saying this to people, and I can't emphasize this enough. You got to pair this up with a great antenna. Okay. You spend enough money on these radios, and you try to keep in mind too that if repeaters are down, you're going to need a really good antenna. Well, number one, you're going to need a good antenna to reach a repeater anyway, and number two, if they're down, you're going to need a really good antenna because it's going to be line of sight, and you're going to need to get your signal out there. And the best way to do that is to have a good one, to get like a Nagoya or a Diamond and get it on there, because they work time and time and time again. Signal stick works, but I really recommend like a Nagoya or a Diamond to put on there. But no, this has a real simple interface. It's very simple to use. It's very straightforward, and it's kind of like I said. It's kind of like the Yaesu's FT-60R. This is very dependable. It's reliable, and it works. Okay, and this is the FT-70DR, and it's the best budget digital. And of course, it's from Yaesu System Fusion Digital plus analog. It really is, and they got this right. It really is an affordable entry into digital comms. It really is. It's pretty straightforward System Fusion. Now, of course, it all depends on the area that you live in because you may not have that capability. You're right. You are absolutely right, Dr. Ted. I agree. I agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, the screens on some of them though is yeah. I have a tendency to agree. That's why I like the FT5DR because that screen is real clear to me and it's very easy to see, and I have no problems with it. But no, you make a very good point on that, Dr. Ted. Thank you for bringing that up. But but with the 70DR, it really is. If you have System Fusion in your area, I think System Fusion is probably a little easier than some of the other ones to pick up and learn. It really does have some great versatility as far as emergency comms are concerned. And it's not very expensive either. I mean, it's not going to set you back like the Kenwood would. So it's something that I would definitely recommend and definitely take a look into getting and to have that in your stack, especially, these emergency comms. It's just not for those of us like in a hurricane prone area or for people that live, say, like in a tornado prone area. I would have some of these radios on hand just because things happen. Okay. Earthquakes happen, a tornado could happen in your area. Flooding could happen in your area. So, just because you don't live in quote unquote one of these areas doesn't mean you shouldn't be prepared. That's how I really kind of look at something like this. So, let's go ahead and move on to number 9. And surprise, surprise, our good friends from BAOFENG, okay? The BF-F8HP, okay? Best throw in every vehicle. And yeah, this could not have been more appropriately titled, okay? It really is cheap enough to deploy everywhere. Yeah. And 8-watt output, tests have shown it's probably close to it. It's not quite 8 watts, but it for an emergency use, it's something that will work. All right, they're fairly straightforward as far as programming is concerned, and like I said, it's not going to set you back a lot. You can get a few of them and have them on hand, have them charged up, have them ready to go. I do know some people that do that, that have maybe 2 or 3 of these and just they're stashed away in case of a rainy day, and they rotate the battery. And the thing to do with that is if you have some of these in reserve, you want to make sure that you rotate the batteries frequently to do that. It's something that you need to make sure that if you're using these for emergency comms, you don't want to reach for a backup and have a dead battery in it. Okay, so that's something that you need to kind of keep in mind when you're doing these things and having them on hand is to make sure that when you have backups of these radios, let's say that you go out there, not only test your regular radio at times, or a lot of times what I would suggest is I know a lot of people have a favorite everyday carry. Get these into your rotation for an everyday carry. All right. I know you may want to carry 2 because you're so used to tying into your everyday carry, but get a couple of these in your rotation and go out there and use them on a daily basis if possible. I think it would really help. Number 1, you get familiar with, especially if you're not familiar with it, and number 2, you're charging the battery, and that's so important to keep that thing charged and ready to go. So, but again, this is a perfect radio because it's really cheap. You can get more than one of them and have them on hand. That's definitely how I would look at this, and also, of course, batteries with this as well. So, and let's go ahead and look at number 10 here, and it's the UV5R. Okay, and I would like dirt cheap, buy multiples, good for loaners kits, popular due to affordability and flexibility. I would look at the Mini versus the UV5R. It's kind of dated, but I really have loved my Mini. It works really well. And again, the same thing I'm going to kind of harp on that is the fact that you need to make sure that you get a good antenna on it. Even if it's a signal stick, I prefer Diamond or Nagoya. I think they work better. That's just my personal opinion. But I think that's something that would really benefit you. And of course, those minis are, like I said, they're dirt cheap, and you can get and they work really well. Okay, and they've had good ratings out there. People have tested them. They really like them. UV5R, it's been around a while. That's what I'll say about that. So, um, got some points here as far as this is a great comparison chart and looking at strength and weaknesses. Okay, like the FT-60R, it's reliable and it's simple, and the weakness is no digital. The IC-V86, power plus durability, but it's VHF only. The FT-65R, it's rugged and cheap, and basic features, if you want to call that a weakness here. And then, of course, the Kenwood THD75A, APRS, but GPS, and it's expensive. I mean, that's definitely a weakness as far as that's concerned. The FT5DR, digital plus GPS, and it works really well. Battery life has been okay. I mean, you got to have multiple batteries on that one, and I do. And I always have a backup battery charging for that. That's something that I would definitely recommend. Of course, the AnyTone AT-D168UV2, it is really kind of is feature rich. But as I alluded to, it does take some time to set that up, and there is a learning curve with that. So you need to be aware of that. The IC-T10, it's simple, it's loud, but the caveat is it's really a basic radio. It's some basic communication, and it really is something that I would definitely look at having in your shack. The FT-70DR, it really is, it's cheap digital, that's for sure. There's been reports, and I've read them, that the audio is not as strong on this radio as well, and I think it kind of has bared out over time as far as that's concerned. So, and then the F8HP, it's cheap and powerful, and then quality control varies. I mean, it's a BAOFENG. What can I say? All right, it's just one of those things. And then the UV5R, it's ultra cheap and not mission grade. I would look at, instead of the UV5R, the UV5R Mini. It does a great job. It's in a compact form, and really, you got to be careful, because it really, some of those controls are pretty hard on the Mini, but the Mini works really well. It's something I would definitely recommend here. So, and just reality check, and this is just some reminders here that HTs are line of sight. Okay, and it's only a few miles without repeaters, right? And that's something that I try to tell people, especially new hams. They think they have an HT, they're going to be able to talk to somebody 25 miles away, and that just doesn't happen. Okay, you need to kind of get a reality check as far as that's concerned. In disasters, repeaters may be down or overloaded, and again, that's why I say, I hate to harp on it, but a Nagoya or a diamond antenna is something that's very reliable, and something a lot of people don't think of that I do. I have backup antennas. I have. Yeah, you need to, besides having backup batteries, you need to have backup antennas as well too. And community experience backs this up. Simplex not likely to reach outside world unless near a repeater, right? And that statement kind of makes some sense there. So, and that's why serious setups include spare batteries and external antenna. I mean, a lot of people hook up their HTs to an external antenna. I mean, it's just, I know people have done that, and I know a lot of people that have done it to, like, my Chameleon MPass 2.0, have hooked them up to antennas like that, and it's worked really well for them. Programming for local repeaters plus simplex plus NOAA, and with a lot of the radios today, and I'm real into the Radtel radios right now. I really like them. They're very easy to program because they use a smartphone app, and it just goes out there, finds the frequencies, boom, you're done. You don't even have to think twice. No chirp, no downloading, no spreadsheet, no nothing. It's your offsets, everything ready. It's good to go there. So, so it's kind of all I had today as far as that's concerned. And I want to thank you guys for stopping by this afternoon. I think it's a good idea. It's always good. We always talk about emergency preparedness, but when push comes to shove, you want to make sure that everything's working. So whatever you have, another piece of advice, whatever you have, make sure that you use it. Maybe once or twice a week. Make sure that you're charging your batteries, and just take care of things. And they'll take care of you, especially when it comes time in an emergency. That you're going to go ahead and reach for that radio, whatever radio you reach for. You want to make sure it's working. You want to make sure that you're going to reach people outside. So, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and spending part of your Wednesday afternoon with us. We really appreciate you guys here, and I know the regulars here, Cooley here. Dr. Ted, good to see you too. KSOJD, welcome as well too. Cooley, all you guys, Andy, Chris, welcome. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and taking time out of your day. As always, guys, remember, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7 3s, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.